Champion 2024, the Pharmaceutical Society Nigeria Personality of the Year Award 2024, Icon of Transformation 2024 by Pentecostal Fellowship of Nigeria, Award of Ambassador of Nursing 2024 by the National Association of Nigerian Nurses and Midwives, Anambra State Council. Best Supporting MSME Governor in Southeast Nigeria 2024 by SMEDA, Dr. Michael Opara Leadership Prize Award 2024. Best State in Digital Technology Development 2023. Best State in Digital Infrastructure Technology Development 2023. National Daily Award of Excellence, Most Outstanding Innovative Leadership Award 2022. Award of Excellence in recognition of his contribution to uplifting education in quality leadership 2023 by Christopher University, Mowe. Grand Pillar of Moral Education Award 2023, Chaplain Corps Policing Explorers Chapel. Nigeria Broadband Alliance for Nigeria NBAN Broadband Infrastructure Excellence Award 2025, Father of Ecumenism 2023 by Christian Council of Nigeria, ranked #1 in Nigeria for Fiscal Transparency 2023, ranked #3 in Nigeria for Fiscal Sustainability 2024. While the journey has been challenging, his focus remains steadfast on achieving a prosperous Anambra for generations to come. This is just the beginning. The journey to the African Dubai Taiwan Silicon Valley continues.
By now you're supposed to be clapping. By now if you feel like standing up and clap, you stand up and clap. Don't deserve there. Pull-up, cannot deserve there. Impossibility is nothing. Just so do is. Impossibility I don't have a dictionary. The man of the year, the strong governor. Ora Tuebu. Hey! Go over Anambra State. Obinigo. Kumana, I don't Obinigo. Hey! I don't need my phone. No. Okay, my number.
Okay, so because of that. Anambra Bueno. Yeah. Anambra Mono. Yeah. Zuano. Yeah. Kachano. Yeah. Happy Easter to you all. Happy Easter. That'll be Easter Monday. For those who don't understand Igbo, for your sake, I think you must sit beside someone who does. Someone Gaga, the one that will speak, I am wise, and then your attitude, then the one next to you will interpret for you. It's really a great pleasure, a great honor to be here this evening with the First Lady of Anambra State, my wife, my daughter, even though she was called Ifadadora Soludo. I will also add Mrs. Adora Ifa to Soludo Ibekwe. Unfortunately, I think the husband, he traveled to Nigeria. I think he's supposed to be back tomorrow. So, yeah, tomorrow. Okay. So, and then here with my deputy governor and his wife. On my side, quite fortuitous and a little bit coincidental that both of us are out of the country simultaneously. But never mind. That's all part of the age we are now. I mean, Now, yes, it's everything. After all, I'm only see two of us in Abuja, see us in Lagos, why not in London? And the wife too. Our double mayor, Adamai, Nukuma, and why you this is an also, Ekenem on Afugum, Igwe, Olwa. Maram is in a theater, Takita. Makanga, we go now at theater now. Onion dear about, Japan dear about, a bunch of ways. I think I can now need it. I can now. Why a great pleasure. Just the presentation of the 3-year scorecard has just finished. For those who came late, that's it. It's that presentation, that is it. But of now, if you look at your schedule, we should be item 8 gone, and they put 9. I don't know why that is put there, because the presentation is item 8. Appreciations, appeal to join hands with the homeland. Let me then, on 9, 10, and 11, I'm combining them. And thereafter, there will be some questions and answers, and we go. Makana, time is money. Time is money. Time is money. Time management to be a very key component of what we are trying to do. And I mean, just for a context, I need to point out that as a diaspora, as a diaspora, well, I ain't our diaspora because I have a diaspora come. Diaspora kata Wesimba. Na tukwemera mistake ima in the Anambra. Tukwemera mistake ima in the Africa. If you wanted me, and this is a speech. What I'm saying now is a speech I gave when I was a visiting professor at Swarthmore in Pennsylvania in 98, 99 in the US. And when they were having a farewell party for us, and I was heading from there to the World Bank to spend some 2 years, the chairman did remark, oh, how it would be nice if I could spend some further 2 years and so on. And I told him that if God in his infinite wisdom decided to make me an African, there must be a purpose. And the purpose must be for me to leave that place better than I met it. And that I was going down to Washington, and after the World Bank, by then I had been gallivanting around the world for about 10 years. And I told him that after the World Bank experiment, I was going home. And quite frankly, I did. Because before then, we had lived in Ethiopia. I lived in Ethiopia as working with the UN Economic Commission for Africa. I lived here. I was a scholar visiting scholar at Oxford, the Institute of Statistics and Economics, 94. 96, 97, a year plus. My wife and I with our little kids, newborn baby, where I was a small scholar at Cambridge and spent a year plus there, then gallivanted to Washington, World Bank, IMF, UN. I traveled to 45 countries and lived in these 3 countries, US, UK, and Addis, Ethiopia, before I was called upon 2003 to join the Obasanjo's government as his chief economic advisor. And our phone now, the ringtone is nice. It's very nice ringtone. If you can, if you can kindly put it off, that will help. My own is permanently on silent mode. And especially because when I'm in meetings, you don't want it to be ringing out. It's impolite to the next person. 45 countries was around, and in 2003 I joined government. Obasanjo called me to join his government. And between then and at least up to last year, I traveled to another 17. We're getting to about 62 countries. Running around the world. But I want to say, if I need to go for Jesse, I make a put here. Jesse, I love boy, guess you were put that. Moromonia Tanzania, Moromonia British, Moromonia America, Moromonia Ethiopia, Moromonia, all the countries that I have been to, and all the continents of the world. He didn't choose to make me a citizen. Where's Nanga, Bonya? You know, Anambra of Bakanga. Ethiopia. From Ethiopia, Aguata, Anambra. Where Bologna Igbo. Now, Mwamba. I want to know when you're like, oh, God, you're Mwamba. I bet you would decide the Lenange here bad. That must be a purpose. Yes. In 2006, well, my family gallivanted around the world a little bit. My wife, in 99, after Swartmark and Bada Washington, Asimbia, unnecessary Ivine were known on Nenu. Some of them are just school run, Jenka, Banka, Sasa, Mbiabunafa, was in the tire, not ours. Now, but when I was undertaking the transformation of the banking system in Nigeria, with the banking consolidation, it was such a risky venture. I received 19 written threats. They attacked my father, thought he was dead. I went even look for my children and the family. It was it was a revolution that I had to evacuate my family in the middle of a term into UK here. And since then, they have been on exile here. And they are carrying your, what is that color of your passport? Or you come back to black or blue or red, whichever color it is. They are all carrying that passport. I'm more decide the letter or wait for green, white, green. Money I am. Money I am. But that's a different context. But let me tell you, remind you, my dear brothers and sisters, just a few things. First is that the documentary that you have listened to, you've listened to the projects and so on, what has happened less than 3 years, because what they documented are things that were complete before our 3rd anniversary. They're still working on it, I'm sure. I saw that on our platform this morning, and I saw people highlighting several things they thought were foundational that were not highlighted in that in the documentary. But that's okay, whatever it is. But I want to remind you of one thing. Purpose is everything. If you don't have a destination in mind, any road will take you there. Right. Where are we trying to go to? In 2006, as governor of the Central Bank, I delivered the keynote speech when the League of Anambra Professionals had their annual summit on investment. And the title of my speech was Envisioning Anambra State as the African Dubai, Taiwan, Silicon Valley. That keynote speech was printed into a booklet and they were circulated, and I saw copies recently and we're going to reprint it. That's where I saw Anambra being a hub. You know, Anambra has boundary with the north through Kogi, boundary with the southwest, actually through Delta, Edo. We have boundary with River State through Obaru. And we have boundary with 3 southeastern states. Anambra is a hub. And that's why Anambra, when the main market was at its, was blossoming, it was the largest market in West Africa. Because it's such a hub. And I envision that we can still, like Dubai, Dubai began, the vision of Dubai by the family, the king, the ruler of Dubai, was for it to be a commercial logistics hub. We have a potentially navigable inland water, the River Niger. And I will come to that because that has been concession to somebody, but it's not been dredged. But we are working on it for the port system to be able to. I think thank you very much. That Anambra can become that commercial logistics hub, like Dubai. But, they began as commercial logistics hub, but they realized that you needed to make the place as a destination. And they added entertainment, leisure, and then, of course, the financial services. And people began now to go to Dubai for holiday. And we thought we were going to turn Anambra, a vision for Anambra, like the Jews. Like the Jews. We behave like the Jews. We are and everywhere else in the world. Ndị be anyị jụrụ ebe niile, ebe ije alụ, ifuru onye Igbo, ifuru onye Anambra in particular. If all no, now there's no money to be made there. Ọ bụrụ rana na ego dị ebe a, onye Anambra ga-anọ ebe a. True or false? True. So the Jews, before the Holocaust, were everywhere over the world prosperous. But after the Holocaust, they decided to set up a prosperous and livable land of Israel. That any Jew persecuted anywhere can return to a place as prosperous and as livable as anywhere else in the world. And so for Dubai component for us in that vision, both the logistics, commercial hub with entertainment leisure, to change its future trajectory from being a departure lounge to being a destination. That's what we envision. Silicon Valley component is about tech. Our people drive technology everywhere. So not technology. For technology hubs all over Africa, if we do gene on here, but where they spring from seems to be desolate. And we envisage that it could become anything we want it to be in terms of technology. You see, Nigeria missed a very important opportunity after the Civil War. With the technological advances during the war, under emergency, they were able to invent all manner of things and so on. If Nigeria built on that consistently, today Nigeria would have been one of the biggest manufacturers of all kinds of, I don't want to go too far into that. Mana, if you talk technology, you better buy. Well, and we can be that. We can intentionally, we can deliberately orchestrate it to happen. So that's where the Silicon Valley component came in. Then the third component was the aspect of, I know some of you cannot stay in a place. Your attention span is low. So if you want to turn off 5 minutes, you must be talking and or shouting. Or maybe you can just step out and chat a little bit instead of distracting the rest, so to speak. But let me say, the Taiwan component is the human capital. Human capital. Taiwan has natural resources. but they invested heavily in health and education. It is these human beings that then orchestrated and then Taiwan to become a manufacturing hub today. In Anambra, the landscape I wrestle all these vestiges of the Dubai thing, logistics, commercial hub, the Silicon Valley component, and the manufacturing stuff. Now building on our human capital in terms of our health and education. That's how we have tried to envision Anambra, if Anambra Gabo. And I want to say to you, as I came into this office, before then, with this blueprint of 2006, I delivered the 3rd-year anniversary for my predecessor, his own 3rd-year anniversary. I delivered a lecture where I proposed that we should have a 50-year development plan. And he later invited me to help to get it to happen. And I chaired the committee that produced the Anambra Vision 2070, a 50-year development plan. Then, of course, as I was running for this office, we crafted what we call the Soludo Solution, a People's Manifesto for a Greater Anambra. I came into office with these 3 foundational documents, with a clear destination in mind. But of course, you know about the situation, as the documentary has illustrated, what the situation was when we came in. I mean, you know, they know about Dubai, Taiwan, about 8 local governments were totally under siege. When we were campaigning, no candidate could step his feet into a local government. No candidate. In fact, even myself, accompanied by the incumbent governor, with all the armada of army and police, we still could not campaign in the here local government. The day schedule labor, the year, I get a campaign about that day. The Bajilo Pakal, the job about Mandami, my and so on and so forth. That was the head when people could just come, invade the police station, sack the whole police station, take their arms. They didn't care about military checkpoints, or they would just come there and take them all out, and so on and so forth. That was the era. So he gave Bidogo no Azotania, where's them. Well, with the infrastructure crisis, roads and so on, you know, and I had to promise in that number that when I come in, I was going to declare a state of emergency on roads because, you know, on a road crisis as at the time. So all that we have been trying to do within these last 3 years, the summary message is that what we've been trying to do is to put in what I call foundational steps. Foundational steps. And now I thought that's we'll build on the next steps. Part of that presentation alluded to what these next steps will look like. But it's just for us to have an idea as to what the destination we had in mind. And we try to go around Anambra as we were crafting the Vision 2070. And our manifesto is based on that. We are putting these pillars and building to last. And we are doing so, I must say, when we say in Anambra Gabo, a smart mega city. A mega city is any place with 10 million or above. And Anambra, like Lagos, Anambra has the second smallest landmass after Lagos. But Lagos is expanding, they are reclaiming the ocean. We are shrinking because about 1/3 of our land is threatened by gully erosion. So, we have the second highest population density after Lagos. So, you have for the similarities. Now, Anambra has an urbanization rate of about 70%. Everywhere is getting fully urbanized. So you wouldn't be able to tell the boundary between one village to the other. How I got onion boss when I got Asia Jagoro, Yanka, or Kali easy accept that he onion boss and so on. So the communities are merged into one seamless city. And so part of our ambition was to connect all parts of Anambra through transportation network. First, with the road infrastructure. Second, we have hired CPCS of Canada to help us develop the rail master plan for Anambra. We have designed that, it is set, we are now waiting for funding. We are waiting on the funding, and this is where I will take it back to you. Maybe before I leave here, we'll get some people committed to come and give me the plan. And I will just throw up to tell you what it is, some sample. First phase, I wanted to link the first 4 major cities. Under Jim Obodo in 1981, he named the current Anambra State, was then the Anambra South of those days. Now the current Anambra State. He named Oka, Onisha, Nnewi, Ekulobia as the urban areas in those days. We said the very first phase we'll have to connect these 4, on the kind of a beltway. Then the others will get on secondary when the hub and spoke, linking to the others. But this very first phase, I will tell you, is projected to cost about $1.4 billion US. Okay? And if I got to, if I got to, about 5,000-6,000 homes need to go. But to tell you as well, just linking up to our population density, the first time all the roads, major roads in Anambra, ought to have been dualized about 60 years ago. Our projection, but in 50 years' time, you will have about 38 to 40 million people in that space called Anambra. In fact, the density is such that if we don't plan for processes for mass transportation, it's going to be difficult to move from point A to point B. But we're closing narrow roads here. Of when you're not there, or pushing a titilo, cross Nakoko, beer parlor, entertainment leisure, I will be a parlor there along the road. Or warm plastic chair, white. Not one in a veranda bar, now for bottle now. If put on a bully horn, so in a yellow, you talk your poor motive. Meanwhile, the traffic on our course, because there is nowhere else. You have to overtake him, and there's massive traffic. So during Christmas, those of you who have had the experience, you realize that most places, you get 20 invitations. You get more to imagine lucky, or less more within your village. So we have gazetted all the Trump A roads in Anambra, both federal and state roads, for dualization. And we're already pushing. Those of you Ebana for Ekulobia. Ndemale to Ekulobia round about today. We got a day about Christmas. You have not 3 hours, the man is the Lord. What are they by 14 petrol stations. 14 petrol stations and around that roundabout. Only one na look there never. No, na look back here. When I told them that this place will go and we're going to have a flyover here, people thought it must be not impossible. Actually, when I had town stakeholders meeting with a lot of people never, because it sounded heresy, it sounded like flyover won't come more the man who grew up with us, some near go Dubai, near go Taiwan. Did you go to Dubai, Taiwan, and the spokesperson. But na kia kwa meziokwu na ebulobia etolu bara ogo flyover. I degoro mwa ebe ndị ọzọ. O wee bụrụ ife a na-ekwu na okporo ka mma na ebe wee duzie ya duzie ijesia Taiwan ma everywhere na anọta bata na ebulobia roundabout ọ na-asọ oyi sị m na ọ na-asị oyi wee bidozie from there I wee kwuo. Thank goodness, and when some youths who get pulled by the medical minister, I walk with a phone young one youth or some, yeah. Okay, it isn't that on that way, blood at them. Senior contract, I get policy. It was entertaining us that way, just the way you're laughing. Well, I don't get there. There's a pop room, I can't go in there. Pastor, no one can have off. No, what the good to do. Anyway, the long and short of it, Bona, today, I got forever. We are just 50% of. Then I forever. I think about the furniture. The whole surroundings and in the very Nakutusi. We now have a master plan. They will all be green with trees and parks and so on all around. We're just about 50% now. In the next 3-4 months, you will have to drive to go and see. We're doing it as a case study of urban regeneration. Urban regeneration. We need to bring back life into dead bodies. I think MCI, I think it will not lewe. I'm sure you have full photo, video, and so on. But you can't make a nice omelette without breaking eggs. The first time this thing ought to have happened, for me, 60 years ago. The second best time is today. That's right. But something has to give. When I was campaigning, some people, I'm Nobi. And as we were talking, somebody said, flyover, now for Nobi. And say, flyover, that's a good idea. The Marakoaka, one woman, not everyone, or when you can say, hi, Koaka. Now flyover, Makapa, come here, met one shop. You know, flyover, fantastic. But once a metro shop, yeah. So, this is what it is about. I appeal to all those who, unfortunately, are affected, but it's also part of all of us who have to communicate. If this could happen in Colombia, that roundabout today. If that could happen there, where we are now, in the next 4 or 5 months, I'm sure the affected would also, I said, my sympathy and so on to you. But one point needs to be made. No property is touched that is not an illegal structure. This point is very important. For the setback, from the road to the next building, and then you went with the people. We are the only people on earth. Never any provision for those pedestrians to walk. Isn't it? But in our codes, they are there. From the middle of the road, 45.72 meters, either way, but right of way. This is the law. Hey, for another West ever. Obulu building approved. Olulia, Obia. Just no gutter. Wow. All you say no the drainage. When was here, all over the world, we talk about setback. The by then we set forward. Or where was there? Well, was there? Bacha, my back. Kokotakwazie and I took a higher as they would to buy Taiwan. Let's see what I tell our people that UCOG sometimes you're not UCOG member. And sometimes I must tell you, sometimes I ask God this uncomfortable question. Because this job is, for me, it's a glorified imprisonment. It's no life. It's not life. Just glorified imprisonment. Not when I'm back at that may escape. Wafeteba, on a video, Moram Makana airport. Don't want any video now. On the video of my bad, I'm one, a black, I'm not galore. What not now to the video, there was a link when this on the on your BA. Now, Buddha once told his colleagues, now when you see me traveling, then we're 2 rules. The airport. Number 1, you don't follow me around. Number 2, you don't touch my bag. I've traveled all over. I was literally living in airplanes, going from one part of the world to the other. I come out there, I go hand my passport in, answer my questions, carry my luggage, put a book na trolley, and get on and be a human being. Not at the same pattern. You know, I said, when I buy the inherently very stressful. You know, I need to easy. Now landed by. No custom. No back. You got big and on my passport. But you can then on your back. And then you for my passport. As is, you get who go to Zogo passport. I just over. If I take and then leave my bag, leave my passport. You know? No, whenever I come out, whenever I travel, even when I was governor of Central Bank, even when I travel with some aid, because some of them said, oh, they needed to travel because they needed to get their stack code and so on. So once we land here at Heathrow, when I was governor of Central Bank, of course, governor of Central Bank came with a budget constraint. That's so much money each year we returned hundreds of millions of dollars as unspent. So okay, if that helps, I carry an umbrella, you know, to do that. Once we landed at the airport, I told them, listen, I will see you on the departure day. That's when I get if I get black car, they say Eva or freedom. When I'm even never enjoy it. I tell a man there who AK-47, they so the left and right. You cannot do the Eva. You cannot do. My greatest fun I've had driver here for, since I've been exile. But my own thing, I'm steering. My kids, in Wabaka, Pennsylvania, I just Sainsbury's, I just Tesco, just Toys R Us. You know, Nyalorani and Aga is like, oh my God, this is, you know, many times I will have to postpone my return trip. Not that they cancel, but move where. If you never enjoy, you don't know, you have no idea. So, but I tell you, for us to fix buying, obolo now, but now buying, ECOG even na di tukugwam or because I just say wanina, bagalesi ifa. I na buying where responsibility. The way we behave. Obolo, I can tell you, wait for Hyde Park that has been there over 1,000 years. Obolo na buying all these parts in no Maleba. Or say for another na site. You know? Another na site. West. Yes. Yes. Main market is dead. When design earlier, well, I'll just come in because my favorite pastime is get out here. When I get out here, going to do food shopping. It's my favorite. I like to carry that trolley. Yeah, can no wele and to panye just wale and no je a check out. Walope and no jena. I was at Costco on Saturday morning. And as we were coming out, the point I kept making, I was telling my wife that, you see, I kept making this point that the parking area has to be bigger or at the most as big as a shopping area. If you can't park, you can't shop. Manabai, main market, all the parking areas have been built up with shops. So, even Nilo and Eswala Gafe, Ebulugonia umbrella, Donyeba, not Chisia. So, how are people going to come there? And that is why it's dead. We're now trying to reinvent leisure, recreational places, and trying to have parks. Anambra is going to get its first modern super parks, public parks ever. Yes, we are completing just 13 hectares, just a teaser, to give our people a teaser. We are having the very first place, just to give an illustration of what it is, what they call the Solution Fund City. That is the first place you are going to get a water park and amusement park combined together in our place. And we're now designing, I think one of them, Chuki is here. We just had a Pulato. He's a very talented architect. Because at the Fun City we have a country club that is world class. I think Mecca Nyok, when he visited there, said he used to be chairman of Metropolitan Club in London and Lagos, but it's not anything near the Anambra Country Club. Okay. All of them in that Fun City area. And I just welcome you after them there. It's a register number, you're not a bad, you leave, well, for the elite and for the and last night, guy finished list stuff. When I was him, and I called Oliver the Grove's People's Club. Why back, I'll put in back, I and up my bad. So, not as they are Palomon, but in at the country club. But we must breathe life back to our society. And one of those basics that make a society alive. Here, if you go through every few blocks, you have a public park. You have a public park. You see, the 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, 3, 4, 1. Can you see to breathe fresh air? By the park, you park, Noka. I conclude this to go back again, call housing estate. So, housing Ebony Noga, going to shop with a housing estate. Where do people get out and take a walk? So we must, and all of the lines, Soludo is a bed of passage. I am governor today, I won't be governor tomorrow. Okay? But it takes the collective will of the people to institutionalize these things. Mado government totally chasing Hyde Park. Property developers can have apartments. There will be an uproar. Isn't it? It might actually bring down a government. Huh? Yeah. Manobona buying the elite equally in their protest. Gana John Nancy Wanyamo for plot. So we are at work. Onisha, the main market is dead. Part of this next step, that's the areas I'm just trying to emphasize. Because that's the area where you're coming. The new Onisha, we have acquired about over 5,000 hectares. We call it new Onisha, but overall Onisha. or Obosi, Oba, Odepe, and several others up until the River Niger. That's where the next commercial hub got it. That we should have at least a minimum of 50 hectares for parking. Or then, okay, so that the world can come to Anambra once again and shop. We are designing that now. The industrial city has been designed. We hired Mahindra. It's an Indian company, but a global company that is known for developing industrial parks in the world. And they have finished developing this. You saw the presentation, and we are inviting you in a new city. Then the new Orca 2.0, another 5,000 plus new city that will be the green smart city in Africa. That's being designed as well. We're trying to link up all of this to have a new society. Because I am Morani, and we can't afford it to be developed in a haphazard manner. We must have a structure, we must have a master plan. But I see poor, which is what people remind me every day. Governor, even in our plan, for space in our even at the front city. I got quite all wood or wood. You know, wood tree. Hey, I said, what the guy potato said, hey, it's here for hotel about that. Must everywhere be touched. Man, I say, even Nazava, let me do my own part. So that the day I take my own 6 feet, if I am privileged to know, at least I'll be going home feeling like I did my best. And you leave the rest. But it will take all of us to preserve that place and get it prosperous for generations unborn. To mistake, and we must make that place as prosperous and as livable as any other place in the world. If in the end, each of us, like the Jews do every day, they ask whether it's in Russia, whatever it is, what have you done today to make Israel livable and prosperous, secure and prosperous? And I ask the same question to all of us. What did you do yesterday? What have you done today? What will you do tomorrow? You can sit and complain. They have not done it. They they're asking you, because everybody has something to contribute. Yes, we are building the foundations in terms of our human capital, health and education. We are the leader. Health, we've been told, we won, primary health, we're connecting 326 wards came with a number. Refurbishing the primary health care center, recruited over 1,000 health professionals, consultants, doctors, nurses, pharmacists, and so on and so forth. And putting all of them with solar and equipment and so on. And we have free antenatal, free delivery for all pregnant women in all government hospitals in Anambra. That's the one they reported that over 102,000 women have benefited from, and including free cesarean operations. Wow. That's what they reported over 3 have done that. In neighboring states, all the way for Anambra, because you are free antenatal and you free drug. We won awards nationally with all the with zero mortality rate. We won awards. That's what I call the national championship on primary and public health. And this was by the donor agencies, the international community, and the federal government. 17 consultants went around the entire country. First, we won $500,000 as the best in the Southeast. Second, there was a national champion, 36 states and FCT. We're the best, and we won $700,000 as well. So, clearly, on education, on health, we're clear leader in that. That's been certified. And like we said here, we built 5 brand new general hospitals. And our vision of one state, one people, one agenda. I don't see Anambra South or East or North or Central. I see one Anambra State.
That's right.
I see one Anambra State. And what drives what we do is need. Kedonde they abandoned, Kedonde no in most desperate need. That's why I was sworn in on the 17th of March 2022. The next day I headed to Oboko. A friend of mine called me, from my schoolmates in university, on your south. Same CC, my initials. CC, if they're serious about it, they're by for more than 500,000 people in the most despicable urban squalor. But now Oboko in the north. I say yes. I said, but on the north of Chester, we're handed over to us. I say yes. I said, now there's one on the lemma. I don't get there's one north. I say an awful condition on there, who get that, which I cannot now convince you. I said, well, see, almost that's almost but I visited that place. We just revisited the place again 3 years after, 18th of last month. And that place, abandoned. Kilometers of road ongoing, but 16 completed their streets with street lights, with pipe-borne water, and the general hospital. Now, their schools refurbished, and the children are about the den of criminality. About the underworld, my even in HR whiskey, 21 years, HR 26 years. Get all the money, get the best one now, okay, John. HR just near 24-hour notice, so just here no. So, package, we want to turn them, the best skill for Nina, by way that to turn it and future Elon Musk will come from Oboko. Just have to turn it on. So we are getting on education. I said the strength of the educational system of any state is measured by the strength of public education. Not by performance of a few private schools. It's the public education, government schools. We never had a government education policy in that regard. What we had was, okay, you return schools that belong to the missions to them, give them maybe computers or give them this and so on, computers where they didn't have electricity or whatever. That's not policy. But we just discovered that 77 communities in Anambra don't have government primary school. And those government schools were completely abandoned. They were the weakest in the link, on the chain, as it were. And we have now moved right back. We must fix public education, because that is where, indeed, the poorest of the poor go to. A system is as strong as the weakest link. And we're intentional about purposely rebuilding our public educational system. And today, we're not only investing massively in refurbishing their infrastructure. It will take quite a while. Well, I mean, even for this year, we've just been discussing, to spend a few tens of billions again on the next phase, and then there will be the next phase, there will be the next phase. But we've declared free, for the first time, true free education, and primary, to JSS 3, to SS 3, that's the full primary, nursery to secondary school, in all government schools. In all government schools. And you know what? Enrollment in all government primary schools has gone up by 27%. And out of school children in Anambra is now the lowest of the 36 states of the Federation at 2.9%. While you have some states with 40-something percent, 50-something percent out of school children, we are 2.9. That was about 2 years ago by UNESCO. But the latest survey by the Federal Ministry of Education showed it even at 0.25. Now we are driving that. The best teacher in Nigeria that won the President's Award happened to be a teacher in a public school. And we are coming. We are coming. From Anambra. When I came, I said we have to end the era of schools without teachers. And we recruited 8,115 teachers. No government, if I could give you for comparison, the Labour government when it was campaigning, if you go back to their manifesto, they promised to recruit about 6,040-something teachers nationwide in the UK. I saw their manifesto, 6,000 plus that they promised you in the UK. In Anambra, we recruited 8,115, already done. Okay? And that recruitment was done not on the basis of Pafanyal Monya. Because the interest of the Anambra child is to be taught by the best teacher in the world, not by the incompetent teacher from his village. And so we made it open. And these 8,115 teachers happen to come from 18 states of Nigeria. If you are the best, that is it. Nobody, not a single soul, got a job there through the governor. We want nothing but the best. That's it. And that's the way we will continue to do it while I sit on this chair. That's the way we continue to do it. And so we are very deliberate, refurbishing our higher institutions, our secondary schools, and so on, because to be the Taiwan means human capital. To be the digital tribe, we are launching the 1 million digital tribe. We have 1U2 skills, what you saw in the presentation. We are leveraging on our Eba Boy system. Over on 3-week skill acquisition. You are articled to the master. You stay there for 1 year or thereabout. After you've learned the trade, perfected it, Namda's Growth Business School will help you to give you entrepreneurial skills. Then we give them the first 5,000. We give them seed capital to start. And you know the good news, how successful it's going. About 2 months ago, 1,000 of them came back and said, we are now proud young millionaires. We want to train. And they launched at their own expense. We had a massive event at the International Convention where they themselves have now opted. Each of them says, I'm going to train and empower one person. And where that experiment is so successful that at the federal level, they're adopting the same thing. And now, we have 8,700 undergoing the same training, and later part of this year, we'll also empower them with some billions to take their lives and become employers of labor. Don't teach them, don't give them fish. Teach them. That's the model. That's the model that we're going. And I can go on and on and on about our palm and coconut revolution. Okwa, not that Christmas, onye ọ na-achọ ili ụkwa abụọ. Ịma na ebe a na-asa abụzi ụkwa bụ na VVVIP. Bụ onye ọ na-achọ ụkwa. Mana o nwere onye na-ajụzi a na-akụkwa ya akụ isi ojii anya. Ọ bụrụ ndị ọcha ka ụkwa bụ such of thing. By now, the improved things you're gonna produce in 3 years or so are going to be everywhere. Manara we all come with the same old one, but they're able to see go to. That's why it's so expensive. But we're now coming with some improved brains that will now, begin to fruit in 4, 5, 6 years. and we're now multiplying this and spreading. We have already given out about 2.2 million seedlings, palm and coconut and some of these rare seedlings. And the poor household that gets 10 to 15 of them, after about 4 or 5 years, when they start fruiting, that poor household will be permanently out of poverty. I'm giving you a clue. Makandi no no no. In a to empower. In a San Diego every month. And then send the lady power. Buy some seedlings. Buy them 20, 30, 50. Acquire obidoi fruit. That family is permanently out of poverty. For life. That's our own sustainable heirloom matter. You might boost stomach infrastructure. I had a boost stomach infrastructure by giving people, that's what politicians do. You give people appointments doing nothing. One bar for. I wouldn't do that. I will not do that. We're going to give you an appointment. We have to write the terms of, I have to know what are you going to be doing when you get to the office 9 a.m. in the morning. I want to know what you will do 9 to 10, 10 to 11, 11 to 12, 12 to 1, you go for lunch break. When you come back, what are those urgent things that you have to deal with until the day closes? Rather than appointing 2,000 persons, SA, SSA, and all of that, they're doing nothing. Some of them even in the UK, some in Lagos and Abuja. I use that to employ teachers. I use that to employ medical personnel. I use that to fix their hospitals. I use that to fix their schools. I use that to put money in the pockets of people. If I have thousands of youths, and now about 1,000 of them say we are now young millionaires, that's the most successful heirloom model, stomach infrastructure ever. We're teaching them how to fish and not giving them fish only for a day. Because all those people with all those phantom appointments, the day that government people say, their conditions go several times worse than they were. Because all of them go honorable. You know, in a culture where title is achievement. You know, so everybody is crazily looking for phantom titles. Phantom titles. For your senior appointment, SA, for 1 week. And yeah, just 1 week. Get their resignation letter after 1 week. Man, say again a message. No, get the appointment letter. No, the appointment letter at least change your title, honorable. Honorable. I think the day we just banish all these bogus titles and so on and so forth. You know, all over the world, when I was consulting, traveling all around the world, consulting for these 21 international organizations, you come there, but the managing director, the president, everybody is called by the first name.
Yes, exactly.
Is it not what happens here?
Yes, exactly.
Yeah, you are called by your first name. Who cares, right? And in our own place, we are operating a presidential system. People come here and copy what you guys are doing with the Westminster system, where you have all this right honorable. You guys have all these titles here. Our people. In America, have you heard President Bush, any president being addressed His Excellency? This one, the other one. Have you heard anyone, any governor, anyone? It's alien to them, Mr. Governor, Mr. President, Mr. Days. The next one, they call him by his name, Donald, come on. Are you getting me? Manabai, you get the title. Equal, illustrate of whom I bear in mind. No one can miss. And the society just go that. You know, these things are symbolisms that tell you a serious society. Very serious society. So, we are doing human capital on a So no, so as an Indiana, now, towards a new Onyanambra. Towards a new Onyanambra. And we got to go back to basics in the mind. If we in your arrow so one number, as they are to fear, they believe for them. I will have an actual woman. Manandi Anambra were more. Veji mala Anambra na ndị Igbo bụ na aka aja na-eme gịnị? Hard work, enterprise, integrity. But all those values have disappeared, are beginning to disappear. Ụmụaka m anya na-agbazi boy. Ụmụ Anambra na-agbazi boy. Ọ chọrọ ego, enwere ego eme mkpata, nwee ego eme. The two things are different. Today, a new culture has emerged. For the youths, their slogan is get rich young or die trying. And part of what is fueling it was this new architecture. The philosophy that you don't need to work for anything. With the church, and I plead with our pastors and reverends, they should help us. Because what is that they preach, even prosperity, claim it, somebody claim it. You didn't claim me, you look at anything, you didn't claim me. What if you now? Look at the California on your elementary 6. Go claim what you MD of a bank. How? Growing up, there were all those quotes we used to put. The harder I work, the luckier I become. Success is where preparation meets with opportunity. I don't know if you saw some of those. Success is 99% perspiration and 1% inspiration or luck. Perspiration is hard work. There were all those things. We used to write them at our notebooks. Today, not anymore. 9 a.m. in the morning, you find our young boys in the beer parlor. And they go, you were the wrong one, go about the wicked. You're the wicked. Now, you guys, if I can find a difference. Can defend the one hour? No. Or try a drug. Now, emergency in the DBA. And pastors were there. Then you have the assurance that you can get something for nothing. If you go nature, one of them, I did it. If was there on social media, society has begun to emerge. Umaka Anambra is the boy. Now, ndị Anambrazi, wana ebe kama neja apata ndị boy, nebe Ebonyi. Okay. Oje Ebonyi, Oje Nsukka, and so on. You know what? The one boy today will be the Oga of tomorrow. Then that Oga tomorrow, Onakwa Befa, Yakwatakwa Umu boy. Now, Nkwanewi, when market, all the major markets in Newi being taken over. How did I know? I asked them See, I'm an election. I'm a Democrat. I said, my appoint, and the man has up to my appoint. Chairman on car, one market or the other. So if I got an election, I'll be small guy because, sorry, I'm not going to election. They are number of ways open at the executive. Guinea Messi. No, the bad. Dominate is the place. Are you getting me? Because someone can write what they are boy, but your butter boy gone and Nanya. Would you know Cubana? I got make it away. Are you getting me? Now, ndị na-emezi na gwọrọ for and the pastors and the na you can get something for nothing or by miracle. Everything was by miracle. Agwọrọ oke ite nwee ego. Onye nwee ego asị na ọ gwọrọ ọgwụ ego. Onye daa ogbenye ma na-analị ala ọfịa. So both Imwego and the Indo-Wenye by all Ekwensu. Well, it be a MLK and they confuse our young boys. They messiah they will draw gafe. The machines over here, the scanning machines will not get you. You will come and that's why the prison yards all over the world is filled with, the prison yards are all filled up with Umuaka Anambra. In Indonesia, about 23 Nigerians are waiting for execution. One year, the others were Umuaka Anambra. That's where we are. There, Ethiopia. There, everywhere, prison yards filled up with Umuaka Anambra. So we need to take back our land. And we're going to take it back in a manner, it's going to be disruptive. And we have begun the new Homeland Security Law. Agbaba, ese na na-agwọ ọgwụ ego mmadụ ewe ego. Ọ na-agwọbere ọgwụ wee karịa Elon Musk. How? Ofu onye n'ime ndị anyị jide nwa ya wee weta na hotel n'ime na Norway. Mana ndị na-agwọ ọgwụ mmadụ enwe ego. How does that work? Ha sị ma onye nwa na-agwọ ọgwụ a mmadụ enwe ego. Ya bịa mụnwa n'idikwuru ego ka mkpọsa ife niile n'idile ka anyị line up ya. Anambra niile, I will be the greatest governor. Ma ọ bụrụ na Anambra niile wuru billionaires. But nya kpọpụta ya anya ndị line up. Omebe anyị billionaire, eme billionaire. Ma nya nwa n'idikwere ego ka o wee mee iwe wee. A na-asa ụmụaka isi, and you know the link to criminality. Agwọọla ya ọgwụ a ka o wee jegbuo drug, ọgwụ ọkụrụ. Onwe ndị ejidere ọmụgwọ. Achọwa nke yahoo. Nweta young boys anyị na-ekpopụta. Asị ya kedu ife ọ na-alụ fọs, ma na-apị yahoo. Ya na-apị yahoo. Ọ gwọrọkwa ife ọbụ ihe, ọ gwọrọ ife ọbụ. Na ba na-apị yahoo. Ọ ife ba na-apị. Because he doesn't want to walk. Doesn't want to walk. O mezie ya walk, ọ banye na which one? Kidnapping. Oje ime ife kidnapping, na ọgwafa na a na-agwọrọ fa nke ọ ga-wee mezie agba anyị egbe ya, gbara ike egbe. Egbe afọ egbe ọtọgbọ ka kwụsịka. And onye nke agbaala egbe a, ọ bụrụ onye nke ji egbu drug, ejide ya abroad, ajụzie ya kedu ife mee na ọsị ya mba, ịdara iwu ya ikekwe enwe nwaanyị igwe n'aka. Anya ka ọsọ ya. Ọ ga-abụ na ụmụ nwaanyị must be the cause. Ọ bụrụ na onye nke agbara egbe na je kidnapping, agbagbuo ya ọ nwaanyị, there must be. O kwesịrị iri nri nwaanyị si. O kwesịrị ime nke a. You know, all those nonsense. So we need to cleanse that land. For us, because the man was in Dubai, Taiwan, with all the skyscrapers, all human beings gave you back. Or beasts gave you back. Or beasts in them, anal lock, anal akalaka, and anal akalaka. Can it be able? I did another akalaka. onye dị one man sị na ya nọgidere ya ndị drivers ya sị na one prominent man na Anambra ya nọgidere ya sị na drivers ekwu ananarọba agara ya kpọfa nọ Christmas party one day eligide ifelizie ebe masị alụba Christmas onye si afa marais wesa biko ya nọ na na-asị na ya na-anawa ọnụ law kedu the highest of you ọkwa chief driver ya nataghị lọk onye abụ chief driver inwe lọk wee na-abụrụ driver inwe lọk bụrụ driver nataghị lọk wee abụrụ chief driver. You know this, I think it's a fundamental. My pastors amongst us, my pastors amongst us, big no, man the father, man the reverend, man the ukochukwu niile, ukochukwu, melana ya. All day, unu nwere ọrụ, anyị nwere ọrụ, anyị na ego na-abịa dị ya, ego dị ya, maka ịfụrụ ya tomorrow, ịfụrụ anya ya hụ ya. Man, I say what they go. You sow seed. So, he just go near Peter. Oh, man, the Messiah. I see. In there, no, you're not going to give up. It's trouser and adapian. In there, all our surroundings filled with Nsinaka, and all the roads. And that's why we've told them. I said, no, man, I'm evil. We distinguish from the traditional religion. Most of those in the traditional religion are very honest people. Because one are so. What I say in America, na get it. Often I do it. You know me if I'm again. You know for Ojofo Ghana. Obaka Yoto. Often I say in America and so on and so forth. A life story of a young man, Esetoro, was a boy, Esetoro, and April, Easter. Onu December, Onu Hillox. This use Hillox, not that. Near Binigo, didn't know the Yapayaka. Didn't know Binigo. Oh, boy, Mamma, or Mamma, oh, I gave you that. Let's tell you way back. Hey, they think about to be now about another. Papia, Papa the boy. Where my Lord is Aqua Masia, Emma Asubai, or Ghana Papa, Malia, the upper bank theology, Jura Ivan Papa. Then beware that about if I join, then there's a mother. Remember, we are bound to Yaka, where what a hot drink. When ye come, Augustia motto. Say, Ojida, the story, this life story. Ojida, the hot drink, name motto. Never hot drink or name where. I say, I'm one. Let's settle with Easter. Okay, Christmas, blue motto. Isulego again. No, I don't know. You may get it. I say, I'm back. Yeah, I'm a guy. I want to yeah, I go. Unless more gear, okay, or the other. When I call one, or we have a kiss. Yeah, maybe I will say another again. I know what I hear. Oh, gang one. Yeah. We call one layer and one was so honest. The China had a good here. We trust one. When you have a mobile work for sheep, bigger containers. Ole or maybe but trust when a family recently more several containers with little deposit. So now I am going to hey, good. So I'm going to with the Bazian. This is the real traditional people do. The genuine ones, the real ones. Ọbụrụ nke ọcha agbute ke ndị kịta anyị ncha ụfọdụ n'ime anyị na-anọkwara n'ụka nwa ma ịmara ife ibe gị na-eme ndị a nọ Peter Brazil ma Johnny Malaysia ma Tony South. Emily Van and Megane. So I go and they are not Sinaja. Now, we'll say Anilo. If you do it, we catch you in Jenga and Ambra. Because you are polluting our public space. It's not a Zibale, not a game here. You dare not go back a car line, a guy one line, a guy forward, a guy across line. I'll be an a beggar. Let's see about game on it. It's a neighbor as a mine. Because I don't know why, you just want to go to the village, but as a mine. Indian and Millie, now get Jonathan and Millie. There go the Buddha. Don't go and pollute our body water because if you're in a competence in India, when you're not milling, somebody down the road, be a little million. Okay? Somebody down the road, that's water. It's got to fetch water to drink. And they're going to, abroad and so on. Not ever now, not ever now. So we're going to stop all of this. What about Omenani? We must grow. Obodai no Nimi, they have passed through these stages. Okonoma, they have passed through these stages, but we can't take another 2,000 years to go through. We need to fast track. Because now that's right. So finally, I want to say to you, you have to be that change that you want to see. Be the change that you want to see. It begins with us. Careful. Live it out. This event, I want to appreciate all of you for Easter Monday, where Jueba. I want to deeply appreciate all of you. It's because you love our homeland. Because you love our homeland. Several of you have traveled from far distant places. I know what it might mean in terms of the cost and so on and so forth. You've taken issues na where the interest by fundamentally. Let's get it up. If what you give if you don't give enough that it pains, then you're not doing enough. Do something. From meeting now, okay, I think we started off. I was here downstairs. I arrived 4:58 down there. Well, see me up. 4:58, and the schedule was that 5 o'clock we'll sing national anthem. That is the new Anambra we're talking about. That's right. Because truly, most of us here, well, events, we're scheduled. This kind of place, I don't know. They haven't given me a sign, but I was thinking that this place would have been booked maybe 2 hours or 1 hour and 90 minutes. That's the way we normally book for it. By a schedule event will start by 5. By 5, say for Wednesday. Oh, because it was the time after the oh, but that's a place that will take him at least 1.5 hours to get to. How can a lieutenant take asset? Okay, number 5. I will tell you that mindset. You can write a 1,000-page book. So use it to illustrate what is wrong, why our place is not developing.
It's true.
You can write a 1,000-page book. That mindset is at the heart of why our place is not developing. You won't do it anywhere else here. Because even a doctor's appointment, then you're by 12. Yeah, by 12:30. Well, but when you have every other thing, you are there. The way I learned crossing all over the world is that if a meeting is scheduled by 5, you are seated by 5 to 5 at the minimum. So that by 5 it begins. It's a culture here. I have seen quite a whole lot of it here in the UK. Events, people invite you for events. Well, I invite for birthday. When you have a birthday, my wife, the cellos, Jen and Guy, and I like a person. Land there by the appointed time. Ndị mụ na na-emepe ndị mana bụọlị apụ. Ya nwa na ebe a ma nọta. Na-asịkwa keruzi. And there's no apology. The woman said, Kezi, it was onye Nigeria. More like, Kezi, Kezi, I could not want to by 1 o'clock. Land there. Oh, 3 or 4. It's a thing. They say development is culture, and time is money. And I made some observations where when the thing was going on, when the documentary was going on, I saw some people who came in, and I was almost cringing on my chair. You come in, when you come into a function late, you hide, you go and sit quietly. You don't come into a function late and start greeting people. You are telling everybody else that is there that you are fools. That's what you are calling everybody else. I have to say this thing, I say it everywhere I go. Because I observe these actions and say, how do we travel all these miles, come here, spend years, and we learn nothing? I go where I now just behave. You don't. When I come into a function and I'm late, you go to the back there. You wait. You get greeted, the function, the over, they can end the money. Not to, because when you go to start disrupting, which means the event has to stop. To welcome you, they are late. It is part of what we're talking about towards a new Onyanambra. So, I don't wish that this will be the last time we have this event. But any time else we schedule it. Just, I'm saying this so that you know, if we're going to have any this event, but I'm governor by the grace of God. When I finish, I will be former governor. And if you invite me for an event, because there's the time that the event will start. I don't know if you get me. Yeah, because I was telling the organizers that I will be here, and the event will start by 5. So as we were already on the road, I got called, because if you can delay, now Adesibara said, they said, no, I'm coming and I will be there 5. And by 5 we will start. Over to 5 we do what? We start. And when we end, we end. Next time, there is a time, although not really convenient to go, then you know. But it cannot be 9 or 5. I tell you 9. I'm pleading with that. And just a footnote I wanted to add. I think Oji put there for £1, didn't you? I love, everybody loves money. I love that money. I only event the Avenger. I put Oji, Tidney, and I'm all the apple. Why say even one on your apple? You try your mango. You don't go again. And I Oji. Open and leave. More mile. I'm from Igbo Momasi. I hate Lego. Very much. But But I can tell you, 98%, 99% are Igbo. Ejiroji. Ebe na-etinye ego, ebe ojobo, Igbo Adam. That's what I say, Igbo Adam area. Ofa bụ ndị ji ego, sị na fa na-amanye akwa. Ya ka nsị fa, unu luo n'ebe a, but unu amanye na bọọlụ. But don't try to mainstream it to become Igbo culture, because it is not Igbo culture. By Anna Gorgi, let's not, because only if I or they fashion. Culture, we must preserve it in its pristine manner. Because one below get. Ụmụ ogbenye amaghị asọwụzi ọjị maka ọ na-achọ ego ọ ga-eji nwa ya. Ịchọ ịma ya ka ga-agote ya maka. Ịchọ inye m ego ka ndị chọrọ maka arụ Anambra anyị na-edele ego nnukwu. Chọọ inye anyị ego. So I just wanted to, when I saw that, I needed to make that remark, because I don't know how when we go there, we're going to be from there, I think Anambra North, but we'll be visiting the lodge, the leaders. So I'll be able to talk to you when they say, I think I was your say, I can do that. Kill for now. Lodge, Balaba there. Bosoji there. Aquino there. You say, I can do what I John's. But other than that, this is the complete orgy Nani Igbo. Because Nani Igbo I brought Ivan Anambra, brought also a particular geographic area that is also probably not up to 20% of Anambra. That's where you hear this kind of stuff. But then the vast Enugu state, Ebonyi, Imo, Abia, you will hear that. That's why it's not Omenani Igbo. From what I'm communicating. I needed to make this point here. Macon Divine. And if I don't say that, then I won't tell Omenani. When tell that's what I'm saying. So, and I can bet you that if you go and look back when Babylon Machiapa, all the it was say a new thing. He just said it. Say a new thing. Oh, for you, I'm not at a video. I'm not at everybody. I don't know it was here. Mba. I said, I know.
So obviously,
this is if he were over, is the truth. That's how it begins. Yes, yes, yeah, I was when you come to my own, you are not going to force me. Rome, you behave like the Romans. You cannot go to Rome, say the Romans, but behave where to see a man upon. Or comply with the 20 and boss. That's the point. And it is important because I'm is our culture. It preserves our culture without corrupting our culture. This is what I stand for. We should not be corrupting our culture. And on this note, I want to deeply appreciate you. I know there are a couple of you who have some questions, and I am very happy to take some questions. If you have any, I will get a microphone. We'll get a microphone. Just draw the question. Direct, I will take 3, 4 response, and then I will take 3, 4 response. Yes, question. Yes. Just go straight to the question.
Because I'm idea. They say, I can room for us to bring development back home. Now, so I want to train way, group development there. If you get more info, any of the ministers or commissioners for Yaka, gazette, they say I be around 2-3 months. Never, good for. I need a hotel now. So I didn't Ujuno. My brother neighbor, your PA, of Katagona, and I'm Barike. So, Muamazika is in a phone. Ebumu project, where my scholarship, my program of land, we are about Diaspora Villa Estate, Mantanake, and Atacamo, we're going to Batos, when I Okeba, the Natacania, you are because all opportunity, I'm going to problem.
Okay, thank you very much. Thank you. It will go the question. I will answer you now.
Thank you.
The next one.
Straight to the point.
Because the question, just guys take it because I want to questions. I would like to respond to that.
My initial consistency. The governor support consistency.
Thank you.
The governor said this program and our free beds and everything on all the population, child population they high in Anambra. Okay, if I get about it, he control child birth in Nigeria. Thank you.
One never Mike. Okay,
good afternoon, Mr. Governor. Afamobo Ikenna. Abu Manu Mozu Igwe Alert Campo. Your main word is not only political but it's sensitization. So almost one of the town of our local government, and they can see security challenge there now. And I'm my I was in there, but in chief Magaba, and I was in no go area, and into Manu, Ikina Zuno, because Mobi. So people open were planning for us, make
everybody has questions, just 1 second. Because
we also have this green paper on your table. If we don't get to you, write your question on this green paper.
His Excellency Saludo Aike Nigeria. A lot of ENM Facebook anyị na-watch the Udogachi anyị fụna na-misuse their weapons. A lot of people were gun injuries. And I choma, these individuals in the news, are they real Anambarians? If they are Anambarians, what's local government capacity? I think we think what our governor should do is to select security men from each of the local governments. So that I want to be named if something, may I want who to hold and who to account for it. Thank you.
Hello, sir.
I need a woman.
Exactly.
Be faster.
Yes, straight to the point.
Hello. My name is Amanti Amaru Adoro. I'm from Oko. My dad in 2022 took me to Oko to discover my ancestral roots and where I come from. I was also schooled there and made many friends there. The school is Ben B. Dr. Ugu gave me a scholarship, but my problem is insecurity. The roads are not paved, also very dusty. So please, can you personally promise me that you will pave the roads in Oko?
Hello, Your Excellency, we're happy to have you here today.
Do you have a question?
Yes, sir.
One question because we
allow
have
me some
time.
time to talk, please. So, my name is Dr. Chido. I work for NGO Hungry and Angry. So I have been very, very active in Anambra State from 10 years ago. I'm so happy that you've meddling into the area of, native doctor, pastor, because it is a pandemic in Anambra State. We have a frontier called the Hungry and Angry Recovery, Payment Recovery Frontier. So we are dealing with pastors who have taken money from ordinary Nigerians, ordinary Igbo people, in the promise of giving them miracles and stuff like that. We also dealing with native doctors who are also extorting money from Ndi Igbo. You can imagine the amount of cases we have to deal with. Excuse me, sir, let me finish this. It's important, let me finish this. So the amount of cases we have to deal with. I took my son 2022 to Anambra State to school, and we had to leave because of insecurity. I wanted my children to live in Anambra State, to experience the place, because most of our brothers and sisters here will never go home. So my son wants to know, sir, can you promise him that if he comes back to again October this year, excuse me, Anambra State, if we come back to next October, can he be guaranteed their safety? Thank you so much.
No, before you go.
His Excellency, Michael.
Just to remind everyone here, please, go straight to the question. You have 30 seconds to ask whatever question you want to ask, please. Go straight to the question, please. His
Excellency, my name is Professor Mary Ezaji, a criminologist and a forensic scientist. So my question is, we thank you for the proactive you have done in the security sector. We want to know how will you deepen it to motivate the youth to be able to reduce the crime. We know you cannot see a crime-free society, but we want it to come down a little so that our youth can be involved in your own administration. Thank you.
Good evening, sir. My name is Rita Adachku James from Anambra State. I am the CEO of Messiport Group, and I have the mandate of our board of directors. We are a midstream, downstream oil and gas company, and we want to know. We've heard your mandate. We've heard of you from far countries. I don't live here. I live in Nigeria, but I also come here. We came here for a startup company to convert waste to to biofuels. So what I want to ask you is, what's the plan for people like my company, my board of directors, that want by way of investment to increase the optimum, to maximize the production capacity of natural gas, processing of natural gas? Because from the data we have, currently it's 5 million scf, and it can go as high as 30 million scf a day. I'm not going to talk more. So I want to know, because based on all you've said, we don't have those. We're not seeing the vested, like the readiness. Is there a readiness for people like us, for my board, to come and invest in the state to create more jobs and to make Anambra a hub for LPG in line with your clean energy solutions? Thank you.
Thank you very much. Thank you very much. Just a few more questions, and then Your Excellency. That's from Africa, UK.
His Excellency, my name is Peter Ezekiel, Sympathy the Mayor, Publicity Secretary, APCA UK. I'm here with all the APCA members. It's not that a question. Just want to thank you, appreciate you what you are doing, and we, the APCA UK, is giving you maximum support in your second term election that will come up, and we are going to do whatever is possible for you to be there, because we have seen it. Yeah, because you cannot cover a pregnancy under the Ucha female. We have seen what it has done, and we are strongly behind you. Thank you very much.
Right, Governor, sir. How many more people do we, or as much as we can? As we want, as much as we can. Okay, from Window Bured.
Your Excellency, because even you have absolutely no now. Again, you know, it's born in our Anambra State. As knowing so, even chopped out now, African. Excellency, now even tell you about refuse. Because now, I'm going to say, I had so happy about the man. The problem I unable to Anambra State. When they ask Wama, when they not handle it, and I know the local government is the way there now, and the local government are there more. So the villagers had a flavor and a half, I can lose, and so on. So even we came about it. It's can't live by it. Always problem I'm in. And when we go down now, my share failed about refuse. Would if I did not, I said, we care by even if I
I have the microphone. I give to you. You ask your question. Sorry about that. Thank you.
Chukwu daalụ n'onyelu akọnuche n'ife ị na-eme n'Anambra jisie ike wee na-ajụ ọ na-enwere ozi South East Governors Forum ọfịa niile ndị ndị Fulani na ife nọ si gbakọ ọnụ ka a sụchaa ya ka emebe mechanized agriculture. Anyị na-agba ụbara nne ndị community vigilante na ndị amị na ndị polisi ha nyere anyị aka ka ha sụchasịa ọfịa niile dị n'Anambra na South East wee mebe mechanized farming. Unanụnụgo mechanized farming na Anambra. Gọọmenti federal na-ebunye machine n'ife niile. Unụrụ m nke ebunye na Anambra maọbụ any steeti na South East. Biko nye ka nna ayọ. Nke ọzọ wee bụrụ Nkwọ Nnewi ọ dị steeti anụrụ m na federal gọọmenti ewepụtago ego wee nye akwụ ihe na gọanị na-akwụ ihe ka a mara ife anyị emie ọ bụcha ife m bịara
I think Mr. Governor, sir, and His Excellency, Olukwe we respond to a remedy on this situation. He make a malisa.
Okay, Mr. Governor, I just wanted to thank you for your vision and for your willingness to implement that vision with your team. I can see from the presentation that you are doing quite a lot in Anambra State and you have a lot planned for us. But I just wanted to ask you a question on what criteria do you use to choose the roads, the abandoned roads that you are actually renovating or you are completing? Because it seems that some communities feel no sense of belonging. You also mentioned that you see Anambra as one. You also mentioned in part of your presentation that you see Anambra as one. That you don't see south, you don't see north. But it seems that a lot of people are feeling that communities where you have a lot of voters are being given a lot of roads, and places where there are not a lot of voters, like Kokoko, and Ebenebe, right? And my community, specifically my community already, even though it's in an local government, we don't have no roads passing through our community. Yeah. No, that's the question. All right. So I just wanted to find out what is the criteria for giving roads to communities, because some communities do not have any roads going into those communities, and they feel no sense of belonging. Thank you very much.
Please go straight to the question. Actually, the governor, joint question,
His Excellency, good evening, sir. Thank you for coming, sir. I'm not going to Spencer. I'm Moyogidi, and I'm a member of People Ambassadors Club UK. Because Governor, I'm actually into agriculture. When of land. Anambra, one. And then two, I'm going to get away with many other Ogidi. But I'm not going to hold road that freeway. If I go now, why update on that road? Thank you, sir.
Thank you very much. Thank you very much. I think Mr. Governor has asked you all. And just 1 second to recognize the presence of the Right Honorable Uju Okafor, former Speaker of Anambra State House of Assembly, and the planned chairman for this event. You are very much welcome, sir. Thank you very much. Mr. Governor, so I got to see our governor
Governor will respond, then we'll have room for a few more questions. Thank you very much.
Anambra bueno. Afom nam emetwa ni fenono. And emetwa fenono yanam ozo. Ị na-emetụ n'ọnụ, ị na-eli n'ọnụ wee ntị na-ege ntị. Ụnọ na n'ife na-ekwu, maka o nwere ndị ji question nọ ebe na-ebe adịghị ntị ebe adịghị. Kedu onye ọrụ eri na jụrụ ajụjụ? Afọ m mkpọtụ dị n'akụkụ ebe a nnukwu. Okay, thank you very much. Now, I will just be very brisk in responding to you. Number one, onye Tinabia, natural officers, and for investment. We have structure in place. You don't need to see the governor. Okay? You can imagine the governor. Not the governor, for investment, you have to see the governor. Then even if that is the only thing I do, you won't even be able to see, because there are hundreds that come every day who have one thing or the other to do. So when you come, you go to the relevant institutions. And let me be clear. Let me be very clear. I'm just saying actually investment, government in Yamana. We have just secured, the one thing to tell you, like I said, I'm not a politician and I don't pray to become one. The politicians who speak from four sides of their mouth. I'm aware as it is. And that is it. And that's what I am known for. And when I tell you yes, the answer is yes. When I tell you no, the answer is no. And when I tell you yes, you can take it to the bank. Now, when you come to Anambra and you want to make an investment, the land on which you make the investment will either be your land or land that you acquire from either the communities or from whatever. What the government will do for you is to issue you certificate of occupancy on that land if you have the relevant papers with the community. Again, I'm even there because you seem to be on the phone and I'll give you a question. Okay? Now that's again, not before. Not from the phone. I was looking at you because how you can not say I know the phone. So now it will either be your land or because like in Anambra, there's massive construction site. People are investing massively. Okay? Didn't build the investment. Innocence, went on inspection. Now his expansion, 30,000 square meters of land to build up area. His land. Never talked to government, he never talked to anybody. He's doing that. Only factories and then I give commission in some weeks and months to come. These people buy this. Only an industrial park. Some part of Urumba South. He told me he's finished with the communities for some hundreds of hectares of land. And he mentioned it to me when we met in a flight. And it's going to come for us to then issue him with certificate of occupancy. They didn't need to, we ran into each other by accident. He just mentioned it. I said, once you finish with the community, bring it and I sign up on you. But if somebody shows up and Kasim governor, Nyamana, okay? Because they are before government the government will first of all go and acquire it from the owners. Because it's important to know that the government and government and I need never to get to and the government government will go and do what? Acquire. Where's the engineer? And then government may acquire. Now we have an industrial city where we have acquired about 4,200 hectares of land. A full industrial city. It's a neighbor. And there will be terms. It's not free. It's not free. It's part of your investment cost. So if you want government to give you that, you either buy it outright or government goes into partnership, we value the land and it becomes government's equity in the investment. This is the way it works. It's not, give me, and I'll tell you, there was a scam that was going on and that I saw. And we had to put a stop to it. Maybe the future ones can continue with that. I was because land in Anambra is platinum gold. Land in Anambra will get platinum gold. Because when you were speaking, you did mention something like diaspora village. I just smiled. Diaspora village. Enjoyment diaspora village. Okay?
Your Excellency.
Wait,
Your Excellency. I bought land in Oka at Mbaku for diaspora village. I bought it with my money.
Bring it, I'll give you a license, I'll give you a CO4 tomorrow.
I was duped. They collected the whole money by one Benjamin Soludo. One Benjamin Soludo. They took my money. Up to now, I don't have a penny. I've gone to DSS, EFCC, everywhere. They told me that because the governor is the chief security of the state, sorry, because the governor is the chief security of the state, I cannot do anything until you finish your tenure. Then I will be able to pick the boy. And he's working with you as an SSA to the governor on student matters. My money, spent years, gathered it here, bought a land, he gave me all the documents, everything is with me, and it's fake. That's what I'm saying.
Okay.
And I want
okay,
to
wait. You see, let me, you've just laid out a very important accusation, which I am hearing. Okay? I'm just, pay attention. Benedict Soludo is my nephew. It's my nephew. He works at UBA. I'm at Zenith. Okay? He is a staff of Zenith Bank. So I know him. And I'm just hearing from you, whatever you dealt with and however you dealt, however, I know him to be a staff of Zenith Bank. So if you went through, and I must say this for everybody else, who is having to deal and you want either to cut corners and so on, and you fall into those kinds of hands. Because part of what this thing will go through it every day. We hear these kinds of stories every day. Why have you not, this report, this is where I have to hear it.
I've written to you, I've sent text messages to you, and you told me if it's true that this boy stole the money, you will make the cost, the law to take his cost. I have everything with you, me and you.
Oh, okay, you sent it to me.
Yeah, and you replied me.
And I replied you.
Yes, and I wrote again, and I went to, I'm tired of going, I'm just waiting when you finish your tenure. That's when I will go after the boy. When you finish your tenure, I will go after the boy. Because they told me at DSS.
You know what I will suggest to you? Listen, pay attention. Let me tell you.
One house, everybody.
Are you getting me? Then, what I tell you this is that, and I can tell you this, pay attention. No, if you let him, if you want to make it a next change, as he said, I will reply. That's not even there. No, allow him, please. Let me tell you this, man. Come on, yeah, get your name. One bar for equal 10,000 times, as angry 12,000 times. You see, I get thousands of messages, and whenever I have time, like my phone has been on silent mode, and it's permanently on silent mode. Maybe I saw yours, and when I see it, I reply maybe 200 texts a day. I have no more memory of what you're talking about. But if I reply you and said the law must take its course, you take the course. Governor John will not take you go to court for you. Governor will not go to court for you. If somebody has duped you, if somebody has done whatever, you go to court. Have you gone to court? You see, no. You see, let me tell you this. Pay attention. DSS is not the one that will go to court for you. My friend, hire a lawyer and go to court. That's the way it is done. Or the DSS. Let your lawyer go to court. I mean, I don't want to, you will never provoke me to reply in a way that I shouldn't. But I will tell you this, we'll hear this kind of stories every day. We hear it. There is land is, I said, is platinum gold. It's land speculators, land grabbers, everybody is a land agent. So be very careful. Let me tell you, I have a land in Abuja that was given to me in 2006. Allocated to me in 2006 by the former FCT minister, El-Rufai. The person who claimed to have been the former owner, they revoked it, took me to court. From 2006 to this year is how long? 19 years. From 2006 to then, we have still been in court. Land allocated to me by FCT, by El-Rufai, by FCT, by the federal government. I am still in court today. This is what it is. So when you say it's not, let me tell you, if you talk about Abuja, talk about Anambra, and you talk about Lagos, these are the places where land, in our banana land, and I'm saying it for everybody to take home. In a Jaife land, na Anambra. In a Jaife land, na Anambra. Sapa sa nanya. In a Jaife land, na Abuja. In a Jaife land, na Lagos. You have to have a lawyer. It is, you make payments through the legal process. Make your payments, make whatever you do. When I want to, I have land. I've been buying land since early 90s. Okay, from 91, I have been buying land. I own quite large swaths of properties all over, given the background I just gave you. And I have been duped as well. Yes, I have bought some. I have just given you an example of one that was given to me officially, and I have been in court for 19 years. But the lesson I tell you is that when you are going into land, hire a good lawyer who will go and do proper due diligence. Make sure that you are dealing with the right persons. Because otherwise there are all manner of people who masquerade themselves as land agents. Ijara banyana ka agent, yabana agent gafuzi onye we super agent. The super agent will now see onye the in the process you get it all messed up because onye agwalo na also army. Amoro de onye with the original owner. Mgbe ejezi wele ego kunye somebody of one apple over to the wrong person. And if you trace your case, because I don't remember the specifics of this case, if you trace it, you will realize that part of the issue may, with a probability of up to 60%, pertain to either Onya or whether there is a dispute as to Moanyang or the rightful owner. I don't know the details, but if you examine it, you will see that it has to deal majority of what we see with this particular case. Onya Kuruwo turns out not to be the rightful owner. You just say you retrieve your money back. Onya Nyezele, meanwhile, only get them. You just say you just lock on and for. So, what I said to you today, I'm glad you brought it up. And I'm glad that you said when you sent a text, I replied you and told you that the law will take its course. I didn't tell you, oh, because you said somebody called Soludo, that means the matter is dead. I told you, and I'm standing here to tell you, the proper way to do it is get your lawyer, if you feel aggrieved, and go to court. Or DSS Nigerian court. Or if I get the court. If you have paid somebody, you have evidence, you have this, your lawyer will take the person to court. That's the way it is. Because but the national, I see, when you start going to DSS to do this, it means you want DSS to now become the law court. Anyway, free birth and population control. The same thing with even the fact that not the free. We say that, but so far it hasn't become terrible. That's also a subject matter of debate, because some believe that I am enough maybe population I need deplete now was this is a different subject. It's almost at the stage immediately after the Civil War. Young boys died during the war, leaving a lot of widows. And a lot of young eligible girls to marry can't find husband because the young boys are dead. Now, many of our young boys in the Junofia, they die like chicken. They are living widows, young widows, all over the place. So somebody might be able to say, I'm just putting a joke to it about population control. For the guys who say, if any delay, it boom up, come, a field where they gap, but I know for you, I'm walk all guys. Igwe elect security, let me say this. Obaru, part of Obaru, can Igwe elect that? Igwe, I will send this to you. Say, no, Igwe elect. Because that's part of what I ask you. Run along that gay part of what I will say to you. No. This is a very serious conversation. Very serious conversation. I will give you illustrations. And the message I give to you is that, because what I was going to ask you is, what have you doing? What are you doing? What have you done? What is your community doing? There is no community that has been liberated from these bad boys in spite of the community. Every community that has been taken over by these boys, at least 70% of the bad boys that have held the community down are members of that community. Are members of that community. Omwero, nobody will come from Ebonyi or come from Adamawa and come to Umuzu, Bonu. All Moaka Bono, 90% of the bad boys, Moaka, your village. And therefore, and I will give you case studies. When I assumed office, we mentioned that 8 local governments were no-go areas. Even in here, a local government, that is still the Achilles heel. Okay? A community like Okija, they took it up themselves. We assisted them, we recruited, we worked with them, trained, and the people took ownership. The people did what? Took ownership. At some point, there were now 2 camps. Those for the community and the bad boys. And those for the community chased these bad boys until they were able to get them. During the 2023 general election, we had a massive rally at Okija. The same way to work. Omero. Obo was the epicenter with 4 camps. 4 camps when I assumed office. Actually, a Reverend Father brought me a drink last Christmas to thank me for the liberation of Opo. And Opo stakeholders were in my house in the village to thank us for the liberation of Opo, for the security in Opo. In 2023 December, Ndi Opo had a mass return. But they had 4 camps. We sent the army, the police, the combined team. We fought for about a week. No. The first day we went there, they came out and burned down the local government headquarters. But we finally succeeded in dislodging them. But you dislodge them, the community took over. Until today. Last Christmas, they were saying that no. That's when they visited me, actually on January 4th this year. That's when they came. They told me that Opo was the safest community. And they were celebrating the biggest social events anywhere in Anambra during the Christmas season. All happened in Opo. Zenko. I was there. No community has ever been liberated from these bad boys without the active, very active, organized participation of the community leadership. So if we're elect, I put it back to you. I'm a guru. If I spend then here local government and Owaru, these 2 local governments on security. 4 of the 7 FOBs we have are all illegal. 4 out of 7. Owaru now, massive onslaught by November, December. Various parts of Owaru. But all you are people. You are people. How about that? Now, the community, Umuzu. The speaker is here. The speaker is a man. He knows all those places. He knows the efforts, the massive investment within the Navy, the military, our vigilante. If I never invest in these communities. But without your people erecting the counter force, forget it. Just being very blunt. There's no way it will happen. He said the policeman will see from Bauchi. He said the Onye Navy see from Adamawa. What are the vigilante? Onye Amobia, Onye Adole, Obiana Umuzu. Ona bata, ụmụaka abago n'ime ọbịa ṅụsịa iyi. Ị na-abata na their community, ndị a na-anyasị ọkada, na-anya keke. They are part of them, they are the informant. They will tell them even they are abata gokwa. It cannot, the only way that it will happen is for your people to take ownership with you, Igwe elect, leading the way. Leading the way. Now, under our new security architecture, and this is where you absorb a little bit, Igwe elect, because you Igwe elect, so you did a certificate, so we will not hold you responsible. We also try to absorb all our because now the previous law put the responsibility on Igwe, but we try to Igwe more on tenure. Igwe more insecurity be suspend there. May was elected or get it. Negative anya, what did Igwe not go on throne 60 years? No. So, what we said, now the President Generals now have reporting lines. So, once your people, and we'll take this message, we'll discuss that with the speaker. Once your people are ready, also, I can tell you Owaru area, the latest report I got, generally, Owaru local government relative to where they were before November. It's like the difference between day and night. Your community may be peculiar, and if it is peculiar, let's find out why it is peculiar. 70% of the solution is in your community. And once your community takes the leadership, we'll be able to assist you to kick out these people finally and for good. Misuse of Udogachi weapons, I must tell you, this is part of the collateral damage. Overnight, you are not going to get Scotland Yard, police of the Scotland Yard. These people are emergency responses. If I have an emergency, I'm not also. And in that process, there will be some collateral damage. This is inevitable. These people came. They can find them out on the femoral rule of law, femoral rules of engagement. So sometimes there might be. We regret it, but unfortunately, it goes with the territory. It goes with the territory. And I must say, anywhere community and local government vigilante, and when 90% of your vigilante come from the respective communities and local governments, and when this na state level they are recruited statewide, and then also, but for that broken the mind, have to be clear. But these state level ones are the ones who go to major focus missions. No one offer ebendiano. Fanaga with the army or farmer alone and so on and so forth. They do those specialized special operations. But when the ones by the communities and by the local governments. So, Ejo Mafo Wondebai, yes, 90% of them Wondebai, and they're from the respective local governments. Now, Oka, road Oka. You know, when you were talking about Oka, people were laughing. My deputy governor is from Oka South local government. And we're talking about Oka town as the capital. Ibonyoka.
Right now, Omega, the only initiative I went on, I provide institutional education to nursing mothers.
Okay, now, if I'm not already my address, two things, my dear. Because when you raise question about security in Oka, both of us started laughing.
Now my son raised it.
And I can your son, you got one you know. Your son never security in Oka. When actually anywhere else and people feel unsecured, Oka Cabana get down to. And everybody miling around every day, and so on and so forth. And that's the place of feel. Then until they paved the road, they get in a Brent, get up at this Enfield. It is legitimate. I look at him and I say, nah, this government, we pride ourselves. In less than 3 years, we're doing 753 kilometers with 462 completed, average of 12 kilometers a month. And the quality Anambra has never seen. And the Oka, for the first time since its creation, is beginning to look like a capital. That will not. In terms of the tens of kilometers of road done in Oka town alone, in Oka town alone. In fact, you may have missed a skit. There is one skit that says they don't know whether Soludo going in a Soludo get another connection to Oka. Why would you take special interest now you develop Oka? But say not I got Panata Maya, if you're not a guy, all on the Thank you very much. Oka is one community in Anambra. Oka is one of the 179 communities. It is our capital city, but in proportion to other communities, Oka, relative to its size and relative to its share of the wealth of Anambra, Oka has gotten hundreds of percent compared to others, the average of the others. How to deepen security, motivate the youth involvement. This is what it's all about. I don't even know what it's about. Investment in natural gas opportunities. Yes. On Saturday last week, a week on Saturday. Yes, sorry, not last week. A week this last Saturday. I was in Lagos to have this same town hall outing. And I had about 11 meetings with different groups. Out of those 11 meetings, 3 were companies that want to invest in gas in Anambra State. And very serious, including one of the oil majors that wants to lay our gas pipeline across the state. So, what am I saying? You are more than welcome. Anambra is the land of opportunities. You see, why some? No, somewhere else doing risk analysis. Those who know the way are exploiting and exploring and taking the first mover advantages and investing heavily in Anambra. Today, this administration will given out housing estates that are just developing. And for the diaspora, what I said to you, if you want to own a landed assets in Oka or around Anambra and so on, there are several estates. There is some which, I don't need to begin to advertise, otherwise I will begin to advertise some of them. I don't want to mention any. But there are several estates that are becoming super modern because we are developing also minimum standards. That if you want land, you can buy land in any of the estates and build. I don't know if you are getting the point. So somebody saying, oh, like when I have the name diaspora estate, we don't have any such thing. The diaspora people are buying land everywhere. People in diaspora, people are buying land anywhere and everywhere and building massively all around Anambra State. Some are coming with farmlands. Somebody talked about mechanized farming. Give one. I have budget Costaris farm. Or budget Anambra farm, Anambra rice. So if I put them mechanized, get here is there. Gambia can say in coffee. Gambia can say in coffee. No, that's a very good point you have made. Very good point. But let me respond as well. Ofia, that's number 1. Number 2, there is a misconception which I need to correct. Namely that even on the Mafia would be Fulani. Because this is a very, very huge misconception and misunderstanding. This was part of the hoax that was sold to our people. The Fulani the group Fulani herdsmen. Let me tell you, in 3 years that I have been in office, we have caught many of our people in hundreds and thousands, and let me dare to say, 99.9999% of them whom are equal. 99.9999% of people actually go on the mafia now camps with the Aronse, Patna, Dawagana, Pantarina, Boom again, because it is a lucrative criminality or kidnapping thing, business, or kidnapping, far by, Dover Fever, and about where I come. It's a hoax. And by the way, well, for this mafia, nobody ever asked the question, how will these people be feeding from month to month, year to year, with guns? They started first. Fabana police station, they will sack them and carry all their guns. And nobody complained. Nobody said this is wrong. They will come to where they were on checkpoints, kill them and take their guns. Nobody asked questions. A hungry man with a gun must find a way to eat. So after a while, it now became a big business. It's become a big, big business. Big business. Don't forget, somebody like Nnamdi Kanu himself, he has issued statement, dissociated himself from the police who are committing all this criminality. IPOB consistently issued statements, dissociated itself from these people, but it's become big business. If I'm only more than I did have 100 of them. In fact, this is it. Now villages, they are volunteering. Some states, the state there, if I'm not where we do Anambra. Anambra, I just want in a line. Nobody in the market. Or more to a shooting. Foul, only one of them I did. When I did, Keruku Siama, on your target, or Siana Anambra, you watch. Siana Anambra, you don't need to target anybody. They put around on you for the video. No, no, Jirego. On my own, Nigeria. This is what it is all about. I just needed to address this misconception about the non-mafia brought Fulani, all Makabai, for whom kidnapping has now become a lucrative business. On Africa, UK, thank you very much. Aswama, where my governor has taken a note, we have Southeast Governors Forum, and it's strong. And every governor is doing his own utmost best. But if we understand the nature of this criminality, that's when we understand that and that's why we are fighting it at the roots, including in the our job. The false confidence that you're good. That's why we are pursuing them. And I can tell you, since I did the campaign in January, there is massive return in Anambra. I can tell you from about when was that? 10th, 11th or so of this month. You couldn't get a flight. All flights to Anambra, Enugu, Asaba were all filled up. Filled up. Obi Jackson, tomorrow. All roads all over the country heading down to Okija tomorrow also. Either today or tomorrow. Anambra is full with people because we have begun to chase these people. A lot of them are on the run. That's right. And we must continue this fight. That's right. They congested. Well, that's part of the problem I have. onye ọbụla chọrọ ịnọ n'ebe a imebe bupụta sef na road akwa ihe gọọmenti acquired the land, the federal government acquired ebe kwesịrị ịbụ auto industrial park many years ago, but it's been dead. The project has been dead. We now have a new industrial park that is not Akwi Head. One day is congested. You can see the ongoing dualization going on. We are still coming. We will cleanse up the place and make the place livable. But we have to also step up, stand up and step up. Stand up and step up. I am ready, and we do the bit that we have to do. And I cause us. Choosing the roles of abandoned project is quite funny. When I'm working already. Let me tell you, let me share with you part of the criteria. I'm already. I'm also never. But already, when you let's say already. He may be, let me say this. A lot of us from Anambra North, Anambra Central, and Anambra South. If I go where we look at I'm a Vietnam. Unfortunately, when you travel around Anambra, as I have been privileged to do in 2010, after then, that's when I resolved that I was going to, if I became governor, Kwefulanam Oka North, Anambra West, and Ogwaru were going to receive special attention. These places where we can even Iga Ogwaru now, a community is an Ogwi Bele, Ogwi Anyocha. Okay, I know where this is. Ogwi Bele, Ogwi Anyocha. I remember them literally every day. You cannot drive to that place during the rainy season. Literally impossible. They have 1 square inch of tarred road since Adam and Eve. I'm glad that you touched you. When I assumed office, you just hear me clearly. Because all July look at the criteria. When I said our primary criteria is to connect the whole state, and particularly addressing those places where acute need. Igenoka, Dunukofia, when Dunukofia never. Dunukofia, and where community will not. No, that's from hard road. Kita in a follow almost 7 kilometers of road that crosses several communities through north, through to other communities. Let me tell you, there is a local government in Anambra that you could not drive to their local government headquarters. There was no tarred road. They've never seen tarred road since Ekeladamai. That local government is Anambra West. Now we have completed a road to the community, the local government headquarters, the Nzam. And we have just finished another road that will take you from the community to their local government headquarters. We are waiting to commission it very soon. That same local government, there are more than 5-6 local communities in that local government that have never seen 1 square inch of tarred road. In that same local government. Now you get down to local government like Oka North. Obodo Deka is Ebenebe. And let me shock you, because you made a very important, you made a hypothesis that is blatantly wrong. You think we are building for places in the 14 strength. Ikenga, your neighbor, has never seen 1 inch of third road since Ekeladamagi. Compare it to Oreri. Now, Ikenga has gotten their first third road in their life. Now, Oka North, from above family, how many votes did they have? All the registered voters? Above family, when, where Batawa to Ebenebe, and so on and so forth. These people have never seen third road since creation. Now we've taken 27 kilometers through there to connect all parts. I've gone to Olumbanasa, the place cut off by a river. Almost no governor has ever visited there. Photo Nediaba. Omalobodoba Eziago is neighbor to Umunze. They've never seen 1 inch of third road. Photo Nediaba Eziago. Now, the same Oka North, in addition to the 27 kilometers linking those communities, is the only local government that those communities cannot go to their local government headquarters without passing through another 4 or 5 local governments. Now we have just completed 10.8 kilometers to link those communities to their local government actually. That's the criteria. It is about need. It is about need. It's not about the vote. If I were doing about votes, I would not be places where we are doing roads today or novel. Why would we? How many votes did I know? How many votes did I buy? But let me also shock you. There is a community, Anakwan Yokolo, Nandio Baleke. These two communities have been cut off by erosion. They can't go home. They will have to stop at Owaji. We have just been designing a road project there since last year, but we've been looking for the money. But finally, we are going to be awarded that contract the next time that we do. Because we must get them back. What drives us is need. Who needs it the most? Given the limited resources that we have. Given that we are not going to do everywhere at the same time. But meanwhile, there is no government, and I'm not bold to say that, because we have the data. There is no government that has been able to do what we have done in the area of this infrastructure, generally speaking. Erosion control, roads, and so on and so forth. So Oreri, like you said, Oreri needs roads. And one point I want to leave you with. If we take all the resources Anambra, whereby our one local government, we will not finish fixing the roads in that local government. All. If we take all the resources to one local, we will not finish. But we are very strategic in making sure that those places, the traffic count is one of the considerations. Those who have been abandoned and never seen anything before, Aman roads, Ebidoga and Oreri, that were not completed. Manandi Bidoli had no intention of doing them. And this is one final point I made to you about infrastructure, the way we deal with these things in Anambra today. I don't play politics with road projects. Etu esi emebu ya mbobo, etu election n'elu, onye bịakwute it's a contract to mobilize society. Again, the next rainy season, the place will be even 10 times worse. I will not start a road project unless I can think through how I'm going to complete it. I will not do it. So, already, Cold War, I know that. So, I will, but the intention is there, the master plan is there. If it doesn't get to you today, we won't do all of them in one day. A few other persons, don't forget, the chairman asked matter. It's from already. I know many. So I just to tell you, you're not raising it the first time. So many already people have raised it. There's no community you mentioned now here that I can tell you who and who and who, how many persons have raised from Kesimba to through Obu to Obeze. MSI I have one and Kemba Mbaku and each of an Mbakwa walk. You want to get Madam when there is a bigger one or best and joke and so on. I'm sure. In our church, one day you work in our church after that. I'm going to go one day you work in our church now. Oh, a Colombia. Goodbye. Oh, okay, fly over, and I also not there
I'm a school man for 1.2 million for compensation. And then you require 5.7 million.
Okay.
You businessman.
Actually, you may get it on line 1.2. Because 1.2 if all costs like it were. Let me be clear to you. No. If I have no compensation, let me correct that. We don't pay compensation. We are not listening. We can only compensate you if we infringe on your rightful property. If a was illegal because you have built illegally on the right of way, the law is that you are supposed to personally remove it at your own expense. So now for free line, they acquire but I understand when releasing land for agriculture, I think I responded to that. I responded to that about land. For 3 new cities. Industrial city, agriculture, yes, when the next, what we call Onisha 2.0, which is not Onisha as it were, commercial or whatever value area, we'll discuss the terms. But don't they also not trying? They go to the owners. For example, many commercial farms, non-Ayamelum, not in Anambra West and Anambra East. A lot of Omambala area, farmland in abundance. And people are going there and getting thousands of hectares of land to farm. Manager and again a community, all I know is show me where to sign. I will sign. Now that we have digitized our land administration, you can now get title within days, as it were. I compile even in eyewitness labor, or who summarize it. Can all the roads have pedestrian crossing? I think this is, my deputy was just summarizing several of the things. Can we regulate child adoption in Anambra? Okay? Of course, yes. Pedestrian crossing, I think this is our urban regeneration process is ongoing. But I come kind Charlatana, if I take over 100 years to get bad. You are not going to fix it in 2 years. Ụzọ niile a na-alụ enwere ọdụ ebe a na-eji ọkpa aga. Ijebe ikutusifa, inegide ụfọdụ, ị ga-enegide ụfọdụ. Ịchọba pedestrian ma na sọ nkutu ụnọ ka anyị ga-alụ for the duration of our tenure, so to speak. So, but about our infrastructure, road infrastructure, itinye pedestrian crossings, traffic lights, and so on and so forth, marking roads, even road signs, and so on. We are investing quite a bit on it. We will continue to invest on all of this to modernize our transportation system. Regulating child adoption, sure. And I think, by you raising this, we now need to look at the law, because there is a law that regulates this. We need to look at it and see if there is any further way to strengthen this. Any plan for Diaspora Commission in Anambra? The question is, what does the Diaspora Commission do? See, we've got to ask that question. What does the diaspora, you have it at the federal level, what does a state diaspora commission do? Other than just another bureaucracy. Other than just another bureaucracy. We want to interface with you and whatever, you have association, good. Indiana USA, they have ASA USA. You have this, and you learn and whatever you need, and you interface. Other than going to create another commission with bureaucracy, they're going to have one, and they're going to have they're going to make. I need money to 1,001 things to get done, and we don't have money. We're creating new bureaucracy that add very little. But if you convince us that we have great value, what this commission will be doing every day when they wake up, different from what the National Commission is doing, then, or what the embassies do, and so on and so forth, then we can look at it. Any room for ICT engineers to contribute in data management in Anambra? Of course, not in any room. We have a huge ICT operations. And when you hear about the SID, Solution Innovation District, and we have ICT agency managed by one of our brightest. The issue of big data and ICT is very, very big in Anambra. In fact, one of our operating philosophies is everything technology and technology everywhere. So if you have something to add to that, you are welcome. Let us know. And I'll link you up, link the person up to CFA. You okay? Yeah. If you get the contract, we'll link the person up to CFA. What is the process of C of O in Anambra? I think this I have explained and explained and explained. C of O is, like I said, depending on if you already have an existing title and it's being transferred to another person, from A to B. That takes about 72 hours to 5 days. You can get that transferred. But if it's a virgin one, in which you've gone to communities and finished with them, and the community has given you all the documentation and will verify it's not fake, of course, the governor signs. The last time I signed documents on C of O's and so on and so forth, I think I signed more than 200 at a time, and so on. So the process is very straight. It's like any other asset. Like you go and buy any other asset. But the warning that I have given here, just like I have become, I've been victim in many places, that I then learned my lesson. I have very good lawyers now. I don't talk about land. For about the last 15 years or so, I don't even talk about land without, we go through my lawyer. And my lawyer will go and do the due diligence. but there was a due diligence. I could go away with that one. Yes, I went to Gababia goes him about 5-6 years ago. Nelugu. I just sent there, where there. Onye pụta na-egosi gafe ya na-eme nke a na-amachara ibe a kpọrọgova jee once kpọrọ onye a jee my relation jee once jee twice jee three luezie mgbe m like the place from video niile that I wanted to make a deal. I sent my lawyer. Mgbe bajebezi wee jụbazie wee sabazie akwụkwọ fanwa jewe na lands ọ bụrụ na lands fe jee to the community wee jụba onye bụ onye isi kedu onye ibe a wee gwa gị na ụmụnna nwe wee chọba onye bụ onye isi ụmụnna wee get certified by the PG and so dealing when you go to the community to deal with land, make sure you deal with the legitimate authority. Don't see somebody on Facebook or on iPad. However, the name, even if say in Afia with Kuma Solution and so on. Don't go and hand over your Nyamano onye ikekwe onye mere ife ọ were eje nye onye nke ọfụrụ mana onye nke a ọfụrụ abụrụ na onye nwe mgbe a chọbaziela ijezie ka ịbanye n'anị ndị nwe anị eburu mma na ọgụ na ibe apụta ịwa ọsọ ijekwuekwazie ndị nyere ego nwoke eribiga ego ijezie tiri nke fọrọ n'ọkwazi and so on. So we have room for all of this. The government doing to clear the business of unknown government. This is what we've been discussing here. Let me be very clear, because somebody mentioned this point. This fight is not going to end and end completely 100% very soon. You know why? Allah Nasia Ndamwada also. No, they do not do that. Because it is a lucrative business. What the guy is saying, they never draw for it to end soon. Or they never Yahoo for it to end soon. With all the hard punishments, they never draw or end it. With all the punishment Yahoo or end the same thing, because they have tested blood. I know when I test blood at opposition. That is where we are. I know when I test blood at opposition. But I am over the youths. Come out from the bush. Now what they believe of you? People that will rehabilitate you, give you a skill, rehabilitate you to be useful. But if you insist on staying in the forest, if they will forget me. If they will, and as we tell them, our young ones, nobody has lived through criminality and lived to old age. Nobody. So we are fighting. If I tell you what we spend on this to secure our people to keep that state the way it is today, my heart bleeds. Fix schools, fix our hospitals, fix our roads, and so on and so forth. And we'll then spend it. But I got them. We must rescue the state. To where our mistake in my area. To make sure they don't rig the election. So what are you going to make sure they don't rig the election? They get rig the election. Onye nazo. Onye. Onye maputa ga-eri ike mana ofufe anyị mabara oke adịghị ife onye mara ka nkwụsị edu a Can we invest in mental health management in Anambra? For sure. Mental health. We're trying to erect a mental home. Makana is an epidemic, but one that is not known. Onka people want you back for second term. Okay. Onka people want me back for second term. Okay. Any youth program to minimize kidnapping? We have massive youth program. I've talked about it. 1 youth, 2 skills. Massive one. 1 youth, 2 skills that has already empowered 5,000 youths. Another 8,700 undergoing training now, and so on and so forth. And by next year, we expect that that number will more than double. We have massive youth program. I don't know technology where we've given more than 30,000 youths digital skills, including Code Anambra, that they got coding skills free of charge. But we offer them those. People know what you pay to go through to acquire those skills elsewhere. We have all those, but you see, the ideology that you get something for nothing was taking hold, and we are out to challenge it. To tell people that we must go back to basics. We must go back to basics. And that doesn't matter no whatever. So, any compensation for Ezioko people affected by erosion control work? And they book a river and a wine. They book Gaga over to come and I there to come and control the erosion, naturally wipe out the entire community. If he got wine to come and save me. That's what it is. Because I tell you, Oko is one of the communities, I believe, I'm not a geologist, I don't understand what it is. But that's your question. If I not do even the Oko, what are you doing?
We appreciate what you've done for us. I really appreciate it. I'm with the poor people, actually, to larger farmers. Very construct, very erosion.
No. That's what your community must do. You see, that's what your community has to do. Otherwise, let's see.
They were told that the contractor told them that after
well, that's a conversation between them and the contractor. If the contractor told them, now pay attention, because you have to also know how government is not Father Christmas. Government works with budget. And the other option would have been to leave the erosion. And those their houses and their fence would anyway have fallen into the erosion anyway. No. Listen, this one is that when you are actually on a harm's way, government has a responsibility to evacuate you and tell you to get out of the site. Government has a responsibility. Or is that what you want? Do they want to be taken out from there? Where? Where are they going to? Let me tell you what government does, and let me share this with you. What government does, are you listening to me? The people in Omambala area every year suffer massive flooding. What government provides them is temporary IDP camps. Literally every year, their whole assets are wiped off. Every year. Because when the flood comes, it covers the roof of the building. Yes. You have not seen that? You don't know? Those of you from the riverine area, they know. Flooding annually, it floods and covers the roof, their farmland, their houses, everything they've acquired during the year gets damaged. What government does, because government doesn't have the resource to begin to, in 2013 or 2012, 22, a total of 8 local governments were involved. The total damage of resources done, I think you guys computed almost about 800 or 900 or something billion. The total spending of what this government has spent in 3 years, total, everything is not even anything near that. So, what you find is that Anambra is prone to many communities, many buildings are falling under the gully every day. And now government comes to save you. And now it's like, oh, my fence is touched. That's a conversation that I want to talk about responsible. We're talking about PPCP, public-private community partnership. There is also something that the community itself needs to do. In the relocations that we have gotten people, whole settlements in Eglobia were gotten out of the way so that the kind of massive reconstruction around that place to take place. But what is the summary of what I'm saying? Is that I wish government has all the resources in the world to begin to get into your land, your house is along a risky area that sooner or later you will be swallowed by gully erosion. Government has come to solve it, but maybe a certain fence was involved. Government has to come and redo that for you. I'm afraid if you stretch it that way, then we will leave it the same way that previous governments never dared to do it. There is a video going on now about the massive reconstruction that we are doing to reclaim, to solve that problem permanently. Now, the next day, those whose lands have actually submerged will also show up and tell government, come and pay them. When their houses were actually at risk, their entire village at risk of being submerged in a few rainy seasons. And I think any plan for undeveloped land in Anambra, well, late people have been exiled since 20, how will they come back? We now have we have an FOB in your place. We have an FOB in your place. We're spending tens of millions every month. But your people have to rise up.
We're not seeing the effect at all.
Well, when last were you in Leeds?
Well, last I was in Leeds was 7 years ago.
Please. Excuse me. Please, can you sit down? With all due respect. Please, can you sit down? No. See, after morning, I'm going to do listen, you are traditional ruler and all the leaders of your community came and met me in Lagos and pleaded for FOB. Okay? The who is who in Lilo came and met me.
I am one of the cabinet members.
Well, you see, until you come down to Lilo, listen, you should come down to Lilo and raise a vigilante to secure your place. When you are secured here 7 years ago, you haven't been there. You haven't done anything, and I never saw you. When will the certificate of the new Igwe elect of be given? once they present that, and I'm sure I think that has been done, the election has been done, and it's a very nice election. I'm waiting for it to be on my table. Once it's on my table, we'll get them there. I want to say, finally, just to, that when will the Obogo market be reopened? Obogo is being reopened gradually. There is an issue about payments that they make about the seized drugs, which we're trying to resolve. But that is going to be resolved very quickly. But let me also say that we're building the largest open drug market in Africa and Oba. And we're hoping that by the end of this year that will be completed. We're hoping that will be completed. It will be modern, it will be first class, as the case may be. Let me end by reiterating one thing, and that is the point of collective responsibility. I don't know if I am saying something. Collective responsibility. I need them with the responsibility to develop our homeland. I asked, if anybody is saying this, I talked about this insecurity thing, about communities that have been ravaged by these bad boys. Those communities, and I have given you illustrations of communities where they have been taken out. I'm going to say there's no more. I'm sorry. We're finished. We've got to leave now. All those communities, anything else you have, you write it down. We'll get back to you. But every community that has been ravaged by these bad boys has been with the acquiescence of the indigenes of the community. For them to come there and stay, and continue to stay. The story of Mbosi, Agama and Lodi. Yes? Agama. Was Eliana called? No, Brazilian Mbosi. So, this is on the no that take control of the place and turn it upside down, and then the citizens, their response is to run away. Now, they take hold and then determine whether you will come home again or not. They don't ever announce the government. The government will come, in the army, in the police, in the we have people there. Before I left, I just signed the bills again. Every month to keep them there. It costs the government tens of millions every month to keep those people there. Otherwise, the next thing, that's the only thing that your people requested of us. Please bring FOB to our place. And they have. And as they are going, Army will bring the most sophisticated equipment. AMRA. If you third road, third and Lilu. If you third road, very far, for a police here near IEDs. Near IEDs, they provide explosive devices. If you have a will blow up. Third roads. A fofa ID drone na lead one. Drone ID. I saw it because I get these reports on daily basis. A way drone a 4-marker through AK-47 back through AK-47. Now guy in the middle of the road. Indigents in the lead. And I said, Governor, behind the line, Manono Mafanja. There, FOB no eba, army, police, vigilante no eba. Did you say how many mother named the bona gunu jedo baba? Yeah, never. For them to go and pick them out. Because these soldiers and Navy police, they have come from all over the country. They don't know Lilo. It's you that will tell them, Negonya, no get involved, no get involved. Otherwise, how? How are they going to do it? That's the point. That's the point. There is a limit to what the guy, if you motor better, now say weather. Somebody has to take them round. Who is that person? We know about Buffalo. And the boys have a field there. The boys are having a field there. So, like I said, we have tried experiments. We've liberated dozens of communities from these boys. But there is only one lesson. No community has been liberated sustainably without the ownership by the community. Community no na say no Jeno, go and get us. It's gonna work. Because this policeman from Bauchi or this soldier from Adamawa doesn't know anywhere. We just send him on foot. No, if I will leave Nambia. He can go see who's on motor, but there by a drop where.
He doesn't want to die there.
And he doesn't want to die there, by the way. How about Alilu? These people had to commandeer a church. Because you have no place else. That's what I'm saying. Because I know the history. Any community on what is going on there. When we sent them, because it was an emergency, they had to literally drive out the Catholic Church. You know the Catholic Church. Oh, there you go. We had to drive them out because the community couldn't provide anything else. Ndị ụka bishop na-akpọ m si kpọpụzie ndị a community kedu na ebe ọzọ anyị nwere ebe ọzọ fajide ụlọ ụka jide nke ife ngosi na anyị ụmụaka anyị amara ndị fabụ so ndị bụ na na-asị fada kedu ka ha ga-esi from spirit. So your people have to step up and honor, take responsibility. Please, I say you will communicate to them. So anyway, I think I just wish that this doesn't end. I just wish that this can go on forever and ever. And I think from time to time, it will be my singular honor. I apologize to those of you who didn't have a chance to ask your own question publicly, but let's get to do it later at some other time. Hopefully, maybe we'll institutionalize this, maybe at least on an annual basis. What? Yeah, annually I am up on it. And by the next time I'll get message. I may phase 1 and phase 2. I may say Anka the old school the guy. People's club. They got that and do me, I do you, do me, I do you, do me. They do me, I do you. I don't I want to tell you this. Anambra is rising. Anambra is rising. Anambra has a date with destiny. We have a date with destiny. Anambra is a state. We cannot be anything else. We are endowed. We can be anything that we design our state to become. We can be anything that we agree that our state will become. But it will take all of us doing our part. I not even know. I may not go get even Melonia, get even Metata, get even get nation. Anambra where the man. Because Kai Naeba, them If I know wherever, I'm sure you all know it, you all face it. It's very inconvenient truth. But even a lot of people I know wherever, that's why I admire my brother. So no one at home to gas school. We'll make sure that that model is replicated. Because a lot of women can I don't ever, I not say I'm a labor. Work well. Okay, man. What's your bell? My family is belly. Do not allow no. Do not allow no. And then I am. I met Rania Saturday, Sunday, my out in service. Return ticket, return ticket. Each year, the about was all the phone I feel to see them. So, we must consciously develop a consciousness for that homeland. We must develop that consciousness for that homeland. Bakajukwe made a mistake. Let us make it count. Thank you very much.
Thank you very much. Thank you very much. Please remain seated on your seats. First, please remain seated wherever you are. Please remain seated. And many of you have written your questions, and as long as you have your email address there, you will be responded to. And thank you, Mr. Governor. Before you go, yes, I am passing the microphone over to Dr. Gomora, who is the chairman and the president of the Ambassador of UK. Very short.
Thank you, ladies and gentlemen. Please, a minute, please. A minute, please. Your Excellency, the Executive Governor of
excuse me, guys. Biko get in announcement you don't get back. Only my name is Ike, but no way you found please stop down. One house. One house, please. Let's listen to the vote of thanks from our brother Ambassador of the school. Please. Only my name is Ike, only you found
Thank you.